2025 is here and WWE is primed to have one of its best years on record. I have 25 predictions for the company which I want to give, and here is my video. Hi, my name is Andy. I'm a wrestling fan from Ghana, West Africa, and if you do like the content on this channel, then please make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever I post a new video, and like this video. And let's jump right in. Prediction number 1, CM Punk becomes World Heavyweight Champion. Now, this is something I believe was very much going to happen at WrestleMania 40 before CM Punk got hit at the Royal Rumble. If you do remember, he was embroiled in a mini feud with Seth Rollins, and I think that that's the direction it was going to go in. Seth was going to go away for a while, and I think he was going to drop the title to CM Punk. Although I also think the other side of that is CM Punk was going to get cashed in on by Damian Priest, which would have made Priest a bit of a monster heel. But thankfully things happened the way they did, and somehow we ended up getting a monster babyface Damian Priest now. So I think in 2025 this will be the year that CM Punk finally becomes World Heavyweight Champion. As to how he gets there, it could be him winning Money in the Bank, although I don't think he's going to be in another Money in the Bank match. It could be as a result of something I will predict later in the video, but yeah, I'm going to start with this one. Prediction number 2, John Cena becomes a Grand Slam champion and wins the WWE Championship for a 17th time. We all know that the one championship that has eluded John Cena in his illustrious career is the Intercontinental Championship. He wins that, he becomes a Grand Slam champion. Now, he might get to a feud with Braun Breaker. I do see that happening at some point, although we do know that Sheamus is in line for that championship, and I do think he and Ludwig Kaiser are due championship runs in 2025. However, where Cena comes in, who he dethrones, that's a bit of a mystery, and also how much time that leaves him before he wins championship number 17 is a bit of a mystery to me. So I'm not quite certain on how he gets to do both in the same year. It might be safer to take that Intercontinental Championship run out of the picture for him to focus solely on the WWE Championship, but we will see how that pans out. But that's going to be my second prediction for the year. Prediction number 3, Snoop Dogg gets another guest commentary gig. Now, if you did not listen to Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania 40, good grief, that man was saying some of the funniest things on commentary, and I find it hard to believe that WWE would not bring him back for another commentary gig. They could do it as early as this Raw on Netflix, which is happening in LA, which is pretty much Snoop Dogg's backyard. So they could do it there. They could do it at a future event. I do think Snoop is going to return to the commentary booth in some capacity for more buzz, more banter, and more laughter. Prediction number 4, Dominic Mysterio finally wins a WrestleMania match. Now, this is something that even Dom himself has made fun of. He's called himself the reverse Undertaker because in, I think, his 3 WrestleMania appearances, he's won nothing whatsoever. He appeared for the first time at WrestleMania 38 in that tag team match against Logan Paul and The Miz and lost that. Then at WrestleMania 39, he faced his dad and lost. And then he was part of that tag team match last year with Santos Escobar's Legado del Fantasma against Rey Mysterio's LWO, and he lost that one as well because of 2 Philadelphia Eagles men. The fact remains that for a legend of the caliber of Dominic Mysterio, he needs to have a WrestleMania win. I don't want him to become like the Big Show who waited like 15 years before he got his first WrestleMania win. That's not going to fly over here, okay? So that being said, I do think that Dom deserves his first WrestleMania win at WrestleMania 41 this year. I don't know who he's going to face, but he had better win. Prediction number 5, Bronson Reed and Karrion Kross finally captured championship gold on the main roster. Now look, these two are some of the most underrated performers on the main roster. Karrion Kross especially. He's been criticized so much for not being able to fit in, not being as compelling on the main roster. I hold a completely different view. I have loved Karrion ever since he came onto the scene in NXT all the way back in, I think it was 2020. I have watched him since then, even when he was fired and when he came back, and what he's been able to make of this new character, especially with the Final Testament. He is such a joy to watch in the ring. Factor in Bronson Reed, another man who was also let go by WWE, I believe, in 2021. He was dominant in NXT as North American champion. He had the whole Godzilla vibe, and he's brought that to the main roster. I do believe that with the year of 2024 that these two men had, they are prime and they are due for championship runs. Now, as to whether it's a world title run or it's a mid-card title run, these men are limitless and they can do everything. I do think Bronson Reed will win the Intercontinental Championship. I think Karrion might be able to win the US Championship, but that's going to depend on whether or not he's moved to SmackDown again. Karrion especially, and this is the thing that bothers me about him. When he returned, he had that hourglass thing in front of Roman Reigns, and everybody thought it was going to lead to a championship match between the two. That never happened. Karrion has never even gotten close to a title shot since then. Karrion deserves better, and yeah, I'm going to leave these for these two men in 2025. Prediction number 6, Roman Reigns versus The Rock finally happens at WrestleMania 41. Look, everyone and their grandmother is expecting this match to happen. This match would have happened 10 years ago, for those of you that care to know. Last year, we came very close to getting The Rock and Roman, and yeah, that was the whole Cody thing. So that wasn't going to happen. And I'm glad it didn't, because quite frankly, I don't know that Philly would have been the best place to have that match, especially considering that the Pyro at WrestleMania 41 was limited because they were close to an airport. But that's besides the point. I digress. The Rock, Roman Reigns, these are two of the biggest stars in WWE history by none. And I believe that Allegiant Stadium is going to be the ground on which these two Samoan men fight and face off for the right to be the ultimate tribal chief. So yeah, I'm really excited for this match, as are a lot of wrestling fans. Roman Reigns and The Rock has to happen this year. The Rock is also getting older, but as last year's WrestleMania has proven, age doesn't matter for The Rock. He just needs a lot of training time and ring conditioning, and he will be good. Now, thankfully, he didn't get hit as he has in previous WrestleManias from like a decade ago. So I am trusting that these two will have a phenomenal match once they step into the ring to face each other. The story is definitely leading there as well, and I think the first seeds of that were planted at Bad Blood in October, and we'll see a furtherance of this story in January, in a few days actually, on the Netflix debut, and then at the Royal Rumble. So we will see how that pans out. Prediction number 7, Imperium Breaks Up. Now, maybe it's just me, but I have seen WWE tease this idea quite a few times. I have seen them sort of play this moral compass dilemma between Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther. Gunther is the one who has wanted to do things the right way. Ludwig is a bit more sniveling, you know, not succotash and whatever, but he has been a bit more villainous. I think the first time we really saw this was when Gunther lost to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel and lost the Crown Jewel Championship to him, and what Gunther said in the Monday Night Raw episode after. I think that's the first sign. I think these signs will become more prevalent as we go down the road with these two men. Ultimately, the betrayal of Ludwig Kaiser is what I see happening, and for some reason I also think that this will lead to the downfall of Gunther as World Heavyweight Champion. He could lose to someone like CM Punk, who I have said will win the World Heavyweight Championship this year. This might be the way to do it. I don't know. We will see, okay? But I am predicting that Imperium breaks up. Prediction number 8 is that the Judgment Day breaks up. This, I think we are seeing more and more, especially with the tactics of Finn Balor as time has progressed. Now, if you looked at the last episode of Raw, the one that aired about 4 days ago, you would have seen that when Finn was talking to Raquel, trying to wish Liv all the best in their match against Rhea on Monday, I mean, you would have seen that there was a Demon Balor piece of artwork in the background. And I think they've done this more than once. So slowly we're getting to that point where this will happen. Also, you have seen Dominic get increasingly frustrated with how Finn has been running things. JD and Carlito have been a bit of they've been bystanders to all of this. I think it's going to implode. This is the year to do it. Also, the Judgment Day has kind of lost their way, especially after Rhea and Damian left, like Liv taking over. It's drawn out a little too long, and coupled with the fact that they now have different theme music, which just does not fit them aesthetically. Rest in peace, The Other Side. We won't miss you. You were a great theme song, but that's, you know, I think that's where it's gonna. I think we're gonna see the final implosion of the Judgment Day, and everyone can go their separate ways, because yeah, it's it's a bit hard to watch now for me personally. Not to say they're not good at what they do, it's just some things start to outrun their course, and yeah. Prediction number 9 is that Roxanne Perez, Tony D'Angelo, and Trick Williams get called up to the main roster. Hi, it's me. Yes, I look a little different. I'm shooting this the day I'm releasing the video. I forgot this part, and yes, I know I look a little different, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, these 3 prospects I have mentioned, Roxanne, Tony, and Trick, have been on NXT 2.0 programming since its inception in 2021. They have been stalwarts, and they have really developed their craft whilst being down there. Roxy, of course, was a household name in some form before coming to WWE under the NXT banner. Trick Williams has developed so much. The same can be said for Tony D'Angelo, and seeing as their fellow counterparts in Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes have been called up to the main roster, it makes all the sense in the world for these 3 to go to the main roster as well. I mean, we've seen it with Roxanne, especially the idea being flirted with of her being on the main roster in her appearances in multiple Royal Rumbles already. So I think this is the way to go with Trick and Tony. I think you can put them in this year's Royal Rumble and see where that goes. Prediction number 10 is that the Street Profits finally win tag team gold. The Street Profits, I swear by God, have not been tag team champions since like 2021 or something. I don't, it could be longer, but the Street Profits are overdue a World Tag Team Championship run or a WWE Tag Team Championship run, and the fact that they have not been anywhere close to winning gold has been a bit atrocious for me. We've tried to do the whole single star thing with Montez Ford. That didn't really get anywhere. Closest we got to it was in 2023 Elimination Chamber, the US Championship Elimination Chamber match. We got so close to that, we didn't get it. Angelo Dawkins, another dude who I believe is criminally underrated in the ring. The fact that this is one of your most consistent teams, I do think that they have to be better. I think that they have to get tag team gold. I don't know if you turn them heel, it would be refreshing to see, but I think the Street Profits are overdue and they must hold gold this year. Prediction number 11, Carmelo Hayes finally wins the United States Championship. And if it wasn't for Shinsuke Nakamura coming back into the picture, I do think Carmelo Hayes was going to be the next US champion. But that has not happened, and we can see where the story is going. I think Carmelo is now embroiled with a feud with Braun Strowman. I hope that does not devalue Carmelo's stock in any way, shape, or form. If they do it right, Carmelo can become a very big star for this. You could also make Braun Strowman equally profit from this. There's ways to go about it, and I think Triple H knows exactly what to do. I do think Carmelo Hayes is going to become US champion, as I do think Andrade will also get a championship run in WWE at some point. Prediction number 12 is that Kairi Jordan finally becomes NXT Women's Champion. I think they are subtly teasing this. I mean, Kairi as NXT Women's North American Champion was pretty special. She's very athletic. I don't know how she was connecting with fans, but she is a very likable character. You know, the RVD inspiration and everything, I think works really well for her. Now, I do think she will become NXT champion once the likes of Julia and probably Stephanie Vaquer get to hold the title. She could even get a championship run before Stephanie Vaquer, because I do think that Julia is going to defeat Roxanne Perez at New Year's Eve in a couple of days, and I think that's the direction in which we are heading. But yes, Kairi Jordan is a prime talent, and I think she has the opportunity to do something really special with that NXT Women's Championship gold. Granted, she does get her hands on it, and I do believe 2025 is the year in which you pull the trigger and make this happen. HBK, I hope you're listening. Prediction number 13 is that Charlotte Flair does not win a women's championship in 2025. Now, listen, okay? There are 3 things in wrestling that are certain: death, taxes, and Charlotte Flair winning a championship in WWE as soon as she returns. This might be the first year where that does not happen, and I think it would be a good thing, because you can get to flesh out parts of a character that you've not really been able to do in Charlotte's 10-year main roster career. Mind you, for a lot of this time, Charlotte has been champion. We've rarely seen Charlotte in the chase. I mean, we have, but her time as champion has far exceeded her time in the championship chase. And Charlotte in the chase is something I would really like to see. a lot more of, and I've been watching them for quite a long time. Charlotte is by far one of the best women's champions WWE has had. I know there's that comparison to, oh, she's Nature Boy's daughter, so she has to have as many championship reigns. No, she can carve out her legacy, and I think she's done that to the best of her abilities. Charlotte definitely, with this impending return, if you've seen the teasers, they are going a little darker with this character they're about to bring for her. But I do think that Charlotte deserves a chance to have a bit more of character development. Kind of do what they're doing with Roman Reigns right now. Not having the title, but being able to build elements and layers on this character. So, Charlotte, I love you, but I don't think holding championship gold might be the best thing this year. If it happens next year, I'm cool. This year, I think she should take a break from the scene, let a few more people get it in, and then, well, we can see the Queen back. Prediction number 14 is Bray Wyatt gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame posthumously. I never got to speak about Bray's passing when it happened. I was quite devastated. I was shocked when it happened, because to lose Bray as early as we did at 36 years old, him leaving 4 children behind, it was just very devastating. I loved Bray particularly because of his character work. I think my favorite Bray Wyatt match has to be the Hell in a Cell match he had with Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell 2015. That match was great. I know a lot of people point to the Daniel Bryan stuff, and admittedly, I wasn't watching too much of wrestling then because I was in senior high school, so I never really caught on to that stuff. I have to go back and watch that, and I'm sure my mind may change then. His transformation into the Fiend was something that was really, really special. I was captivated. He became, to me, this generation's version of Undertaker, and for him to have been released in 2021 was just it was a big mistake, I think, on the part of WWE. Him coming back, definitely righted a wrong, but he did get to have this, dichotomous character of, is he Bray, is he Uncle Howdy, doing that sort of things. And the things you're hearing about how he wanted Karen Cross to vet people from NXT to come in, how he wanted Wade Barrett to be a secret part of the Y6 as a commentator. Bray was just so creative, and we miss him every day. If you've not watched his documentary on Peacock, I recommend you do so. It's one of the most touching wrestling documentaries you will ever watch. So Bray Wyatt, I think, needs to get inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Rest in peace, Bray Windham, and God bless you, man. Prediction number 15 is that Batista finally gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, look, this induction was actually supposed to happen in 2021 or 2020. I don't remember when. It was one of these 2 years, but all the plans got jumbled up, and I remember him releasing a statement to the effect of he hopes that he can get back to get this induction done in front of fans, and that has not happened, and it's been about 4 years since. So I do think that Las Vegas is one of the perfect cities, and I do think Batista should be in the Hall of Fame. Batista didn't have the longest WWE career. I remember him debuting as Deacon Batista with the chain and the collection box for Devon Dudley all the way in 2002, to becoming part of Evolution, to becoming the Animal Batista that we all know and love, who had those tremendous battles with The Undertaker and Edge, and just tore it up with John Cena towards the end of his first run, only to come back and give us that iconic meme, "This is what I want." Look, Batista has done it all, right? A very short career for him, but he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, we all love when he did this too. But number 16 is Big E returns at the Royal Rumble. Look, everybody and their grandmother felt that the New Day was going to break up. Xavier Woods was going to turn heel on Kofi Kingston. Personally, Kofi, then how? Mean if you go. You are Ghanaian, so I can talk to you that. I mean if you go. What did you do? Bro, Big E pie hold you down, right? They like the guy, like, he break your neck. You say, so what? Charlie, how if you do that thing? You understand? But anyway, it's all good. That's the closest that a Ghanaian will sound to Jamaican, but we're all kind of one people. Although I won't lie, Kofi, Jamaica, no. I think a lot of us got really upset when we saw that in 2008. But I'll make another video on that. The last we heard of Big E's recovery was that he was getting stem cell treatment down in Cancun, I think. And that was months ago. Big E, listen, if he comes back, it would be one of the biggest pops of the year. If he doesn't come back though, it's okay. All we want is for Big E to be healthy, and Big E is one of the most lovable people in the world. It's quite unfortunate that what happened to him happened, especially coming off of a WWE Championship run, which I think could have been better. But then he was suddenly just forgotten about, and was, everything that happened to him happened since. Prediction number 17 is the Y6 Capture Tag Team Gold. Now, this one is a bit, it's a bit middle of the road. That people may like it, people may not like it, but I think it's something that's due to happen. I do think that the Raw tag team division needs more teams, and that's something that the Y6 can fit into. There's 3 different configurations you could use, maybe even 4. You can use Eric Rowan with either combination of Dexter Lumis or Joe Gacy. Uncle Howdy could even factor into the picture somehow, some way. But I do think that at some point the Y6 will capture tag team gold, and it could happen as soon as this year. As to how that happens, we don't know, but we will see. Prediction number 18, Mr. Beast becomes the prime bottle mascot at WrestleMania 41. Now look, there's precedent to this, okay? We've seen KSI in the bottle. We've seen I Show Speed in the bottle. We haven't seen Mr. Beast though. Mr. Beast has dabbled in wrestling quite a bit. He took that infamous picture with John Cena. I know some of you will say who, but yeah, he's done that. He was at SummerSlam 2021. So I do think Mr. Beast is primed to be part of this whole thing, no pun intended. But it would be really cool to see. Jimmy, is having quite the time of his life right now, quite the year as well, with the release of Beast games, and it would be a way for a partnership between WWE and the biggest YouTube creator in the world. So yeah, I do think this is going to happen at some point, regardless of which match Logan Paul is involved in at WrestleMania. I do think he is going to be involved in that, although I don't want to see him get beat up because Prediction number 19, John Cena versus Logan Paul happens at SummerSlam. Now, there have been a few rumors swirling in the last few weeks that John Cena and Logan Paul are due to face off at WrestleMania. A lot of people are kicked back against it. I kind of see why they would want to do this, although I don't think that's the match you should have at WrestleMania. I do think John Cena could be in a much more prominent position. Maybe a world championship match is what I'm referring to. And if that's not available, then of course you can do the Logan Paul thing. I do ideally think the best thing for him would be Logan Paul, John Cena at SummerSlam, because you need to stack the SummerSlam card as well, especially now that they're going 2 nights with SummerSlam, which I have a few mixed feelings about. I'm not sure why they are doing it that way this year in particular. Prediction number 20 is Jimmy Uso wins a singles championship. Just like his brother Jay did with the Intercontinental Championship last year, you can give Jimmy Uso a United States Championship run. Jimmy has been crushing it. He may not be as charismatic as Jay, but he has something special as well, and I think we need to flesh that out of Jimmy as well. It's good that he is getting the opportunity to do stuff on his own, as Jay has figured it out. Jimmy too needs to do the same. I do think it would be a beautiful moment if Jimmy were to win a singles championship. I know some people will be like, it's not believable, is this, there's not that. Listen, Jimmy can do the job. I trust Jimmy Uso to hold the gold and to be a prominent United States champion. So yes, I'm going to put that in the bingo card for 2025. Prediction number 21, Fraxium holds the tag team championships for 1 year before splitting up. Now, as of the recording of this video, I think Fraxium has held the tag team championships for about 8 or 9 months. It was around Stand and Deliver season when they got the gold from Corbin and Braun Breaker. So I do think that Fraxium is going to hold the championship for another few months before dropping it. And yeah, it might be Nathan Fraser's fault, but you know, that has been a bit fun to watch, the dynamic between these two. Prediction number 22 is that Lash legend and Jakara Jackson become WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I think we've seen how this could work out on the main roster. I believe all of Metaphor has been called up to SmackDown, so that's really good. Although I do believe that Jakara Jackson and Lash legend in their brief run on the main roster before this call up was really special. We saw the match at Crown Jewel. We saw how well they mesh with these teams. Lash's Lash extension finisher is, I love that move. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I love that move. But yes, I do believe that this is the year that they finally captured the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Hopefully they are the next champions after Jade and after Naomi and Bianca. Prediction number 23 is Michin, Lyra Valkyria and Piper Niven all win championships. Now, for Michin, I think this will be the Women's United States Championship. I also think that's going to be the same case for Piper Niven. I think there might be a situation where she will turn on Chelsea Green and take the gold from her or take the gold for herself. There will be something. With Lyra Valkyria, it might very well be the Intercontinental Championship, the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So, you know, I do believe it's going to be something really special for all three women. I do see 2025 as the year in which these women rise to another level. And hopefully they get to contend for world championships down the road, because these are some of WWE's three best performers. Piper Niven, she's slept on because the thing she did in NXT UK, she hasn't even gotten to show too much of on the main roster. I mean, she was sidelined with that whole drop thing. I tried to erase that from memory, but yes, I do believe that these three women will be primed for a great 2025. Prediction number 24, Jacob Fatu defects from the bloodline and becomes a major babyface single star. Listen, I think this is the most obvious thing since water being wet. The impending defection of Jacob Fatu from this version of the bloodline. Of course, it would carry out this funny line of succession of events, which is the enforcer of each bloodline has turned on their former bloodline to form their own. Only this time, I do think that Jacob Fatu will stand alone as opposed to solo with what he did with, you know, breaking away from that bloodline and then forming his own after Roman left after WrestleMania. So I do believe that Jacob is going to break out. He's going to have a wonderful 2025. He's going to have a bit of a feud with Solo Sikoa. And who knows, he might get a mid-card championship run at some point. Jacob, I think, is really, really special. He's special. He gets it. And I think that 2025 should be the year in which he thrives and flourishes to a ridiculous degree. Number 25 is that Randy Orton uses the punt on Cody Rhodes. And this is a move that Randy Orton hasn't used in years. I honestly can't remember the last time Randy Orton used a punt. The significance of that would be very heavy because, you know, he's been looking at that WWE Championship for such a long time. And I think this would be a way for that story to just, you know, culminate and germinate into another whole feud between these two men. Hopefully that brings out the worst in Cody, like Cody Lander. But yes, I do think that number 25, Randy using the punt on Cody, is going to happen this year and should be the means by which Randy Orton turns heel. So those are my predictions for the year 2025. What do you think? Please do let me know in the comments. I appreciate having every single one of you here. If you want to see the craziest Mandela effects in wrestling that I react to, you can check that video out right here. My name is Andy. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in another one. Peace.